What's up, Kingdom family? It is your boy, the greatest Kingdom YouTuber under the heavens, your future great journal me, Ken, back at it with another Kingdom video. Today, we have the Kingdom chapter 810 review. It was a pretty freaking epic chapter, but also different from what we might usually expect. We got to see our boy SHIN putting in work politically, working his magic with the people, rather than seeing him perform miracles on the battlefield. To begin with, the chapter picks up having already gotten our response from Kanyo regarding who holds the greater power between Gokei and To, and it looks like the 6 great generals of Qin won this one. But really, the real winner might be the greatest general under the heavens, Great General Offscreen. Many of us, including myself, thought we might get some discussion between Sei and Shohei-kun in Kanyo, or at least get to see a sweating Shobun-kun, but no. Anyway, you already know, Gokei is salty as ever, already plotting to bide his time until we can outrank To, like that's ever going to happen. Meanwhile, the new soldiers are being trained and we shift over to SHIN, who seems to be in deep thought. Unknown to the others, To specifically asked SHIN to ponder how the SHIN unit would interact with the people of Nanyo, because this could be the key to the city. A bold claim, and something that is obviously being set up to change the entire course of this Han campaign. The main takeaway is that SHIN is learning to deal with those on the outside, viewing him as some demon, despite being far from, because that's the reality of an outside perspective, particularly a former enemy. So the entire chapter is SHIN trying to reconcile until the tension inevitably explodes, and a citizen tries to stab him. SHIN's growth and maturation really stood out to me in this chapter. When To gave SHIN the special mission of bonding with the Nanyo people, it was because he thought the SHIN unit would be more relatable than the To army could ever be. This makes a lot of sense. Not only does the SHIN unit never pillage or violate citizens, they go out of their way to prevent any injustice in their sights. When it comes to these social issues, there is no enemy or ally, only simply an issue that must be dealt with. We saw as such when SHIN cut down a Qin commander who was reveling in such behavior. So who better to win over the hearts of Nanyo, a people whose home we have just conquered, than the kind-hearted and transparent SHIN unit who have never treated enemy citizens badly and never found an excuse not to act against such mistreatment. Later in the chapter, whilst thinking of his plan, SHIN remembers that Gokei said first impressions matter greatly, which happens to fall in line with To's mission for him. It is only fitting that shortly after, SHIN is in for a rude awakening. Despite having a public reputation of being kinder than any enemy general ever, the people are still drowning in fear of SHIN and his SHIN unit. No, of the demons that have taken their home. Demons no better than Kanki, at least on the surface level. But we can't blame anyone for not looking deeper than that. As a result, it is awesome that SHIN proposes a feast as a way to begin reconciliation with the Han people. After Bayo, there was a similar feast to break down the tension with Xiao. SHIN even instinctively drew his blade against Roboku, though he didn't actually, but the killing intent was there. I bring this up because during the Nanyo feast, a citizen can't take it anymore, and he tries to stab SHIN after feigning friendliness. But SHIN, previously being the one with the outburst, has now matured and is on the other side. He isn't angry or startled as some might expect, but instead is empathetic of the hatred and anger that the people must hold for their invaders. One more thing. During To and Gokei's discussion at the start of the chapter, Gokei talks about how this situation of trying to force peace between Han and Qin could go bad quick. And To says the army would assist with this, to which Gokei responds, what good is an army that does not use force? This at first glance might be passed over, but upon rereading, it is interesting to me. To agrees and states he doesn't know what role the military can play in governing the city at this very moment, but they need to be involved somehow to successfully govern Nanyo. I could be overcooking, but this sounds to me like one of the first iterations of policing in ancient China. Most likely during the Warring States, using soldiers outside of war must be something unheard of. And I'm not talking about palace guards protecting royalty or those in the upper class. To is subtly hinting towards a military force that enforces law. Sound familiar? With what has happened in this chapter, I think it is safe to say that by the end of the next will come some sort of solution. The only way a wound heals is when the band-aid is ripped off and the natural healing process can begin. The old Nanyo citizen trying to stab SHIN. That's one hell of a band-aid. All that tension broken in a single moment. It is only up from here. and that is only further supported by Shin's reaction. He knows this is necessary to improve their relationship with the Nanyo people moving forward, so he can't even be mad. It says a lot to the Nanyo people about how they will be treated, seeing how Shin deals with how one of them just tried to take his life. From here, Shin's actions will make waves throughout Nanyo, which will make waves throughout Han, and the surrounding cities may experience enough to surrender, seeing as it is not worth trying to fight someone that has done nothing but take a city without any blood spilled, and try to fly our flags side by side. Ultimately, it will then make waves throughout all of China. And I'm interested to see if we get a reaction from the Qi King when he hears of our actions, our convincing of China that this is not a war waged for conquest. Did you enjoy this video? Check out my other videos. Be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to stay updated on my latest videos. I appreciate you guys.